So this is going to be a short video, short pensive ramble. I'm going to be talking about how you can adapt yourself to your students in the classroom while it's happening live. Welcome to the Teacher Studio. I'm Karina, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you can adapt yourself live in the classroom to meet your students' needs. So grab your pen, your notebook, and let's get to class. So, your student, or you might have something planned for your student, and you're ready to take this lesson from beginning to the end. However, 30 minutes, or not even 30 minutes in, let's say 15 minutes in, your student suddenly has a realization that they need something different. What do? You can have a few options here. You can say, well, I hear you, but I'm not prepared to do that right now. Or you can say, all right, that sounds like something we can tackle together, and you switch and you keep the lesson going. So for me right now in my career, I'm at the second option. So any student that comes to me in the lesson and I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're going to have a great lesson today, I have planned it out perfectly, and they show up and they're like, no, we're not. I take that with stride, and I actually welcome the challenge, because it's not often that I do have this type of challenge where I have to think on my feet and immediately change my plans. So what I do is I actually always have multiple tabs open on my browser, because I'm teaching online via my laptop. So it's quite easy for me to keep these tabs open. And as my student is speaking naturally, well, I'm typing into, let's say, Google, for example, in one tab, typing into ChatGPT in another tab to find questions or answers to things very quickly. So I'm kind of anticipating my students' needs as they're speaking. So this will take a bit of multitasking, and for you to actively listen, type at the same time, and keep the student engaged. So you have to be, yes, a multitasker, but skilled at doing all three of these things in order for them to work. A good example is, or an example I have, is a student that I've had him for a long time, so that we are quite comfortable in our classroom environment. And in the last lesson, he suddenly decided that he wanted to do something a little different, and he started explaining why, and he talked about his work and so on. So there's no issue here. So while he was speaking and explaining himself, before he even got to the point of, I would like to try something like this, or let's do that, or could we do this? I had already found a lesson and some backup questions on ChatGPT, so that we could most likely switch our lesson to this, to avoid him feeling pressured to do something that wasn't quite aligning with what he needed right now. So ChatGPT in the background can be super helpful. If your student starts talking about, oh, I have this project coming up and I have to give a presentation and I'm a bit nervous about it and I don't really know some of the expressions or the words that I have to use. How do I talk about figures in English? You see them having a mini panic attack, but you have the lesson on, I don't know, the present perfect planned. There's no way your student is going to be comfortable doing the present perfect when on their mind is that presentation that they have in English and not being able to express themselves or to talk about figures and graphs. So in the background, I have ChatGPT open and quickly typing into ChatGPT, can you give me a 30-minute 45-minute lesson plan on presentations for my A1 student or my A2 student. Whatever, you formulate your prompt for ChatGPT according to what your student says, of course, right? And on the other side, or the other tab, I have a platform like lingualhouse.com open. So as the student is talking, presentations, literally just type into the search bar of lingualhouse.com presentations. I guarantee you will find a couple lessons that you could swap in and out immediately. Hit download on that, download both the student version and the teacher version, because it's something that you wouldn't have had enough time to really prepare for. So the teacher version comes in handy, which has the answers and some explanations for you so that you don't seem completely thrown out of the loop in this situation, right? And voila, you have two things that you could potentially do with this student who has just told you that their main concern right now is a presentation that they have to do in English. And you don't have to force them to do the present perfect if that's not what's interesting for them. So yeah, that's how I kind of keep myself adaptable, quick, and just ready to switch up and to kind of be that teacher who has something for every situation, who has a solution for every problem, language related, of course, for my students. And I think this is a really valuable asset, a really valuable skill as an English teacher, because sometimes students fall on a teacher who would say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do that right now. I haven't prepared anything for that. And then you have to kind of sit through it. Not a lot of persons are able to think on their feet, to be creative and just adapt to your student. Technically, that's most of your job, adapting to your student. You're not teaching yourself, you're teaching another person. So you have to adapt to them if you want to get the most out of them, or if you really want to see them improve. Another way that I keep ready, or I stay ready for anything, is all of my resources, I keep them in a Google Drive folder. So that way I can as well type in a keyword and I can find a resource that I might have already saved or used with another client, and it can be reused again. Definitely, that's the point. So that's really helpful. So that's it. That's the video. Like I said, not really long. It was just a quick ramble of something that I thought about because I realized I had another teacher actually ask me about it, and I thought I'd do a quick ramble on this. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do a really expansive video talking about ways that you can stay ready in the classroom and be ready for just about anything that your student throws at you. I can expand on the few tips that I mentioned before and give you a full view of that. So if this video was helpful for you, give it a like, share, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao!